Hey,
What's going on?
nothing. I guess everybody's watching.
The Trump,
Yeah. Yeah, he's speaking pretty well today. Anyway, okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. I don't know where Ernie is. He said he was coming on.
One of the great things about these things is how they represent really believe. So tonight I'm inviting you to join with my administration. If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support for the American government is to protect the American citizens, not the legal.
We are on Mem Gimel 43. We said that the Ben Arboim Yom the
Ernie, can you just say this year? Lilu Nishmat. Libazelda Bat Bela. Bat Zaev.
Shir should be Leilu Nishmas Lebezelda Bas Bela.
Bat Zaev. Bela is her mother.
Bas Zaev, which is who's Walter's mother. So the neshama should have an aliyah. So we said that you took 40-day-old urine, alum, and fenugreek. The tewi lebigvai mu'urtavat l'tzafra. They would soak it from the night till the morning. Ifrit chazuse psula. If the color blue became less blue, like it was fading, that's a sign that it was not authentic tchelis, it was the indigo. Lo ifrit chazusik sheva, and if it retained its blue color, then it's tchelis. That was the technology of Rav Yitzchak, great Rav Yehuda. Rav Adaka made Rav Mishmei Ravira a different test. Maisi Chamira Arkasa Desari, you brought yeast made from barley, and you put the blue thread in there. Va'afila begavan, they baked it. If the blue became stronger, that's a sign that it's true tchelis. Ligriyusa, if it fades color, it's psula. Then that's a sign that it was fake. V'simonech shinui sheker, that if it becomes bad, we know that that's fraudulent. Shinui emes, and if it gets better, we know that it's true tchelis. So we said before, tchelis ein lo bedika. What do you mean? It has bedika. My lo bedika nami deka omar atiimo. It tells us that the even though you tested a thread and it showed that it was okay tchelis, you can't use that. You can't use that. You have to buy always tchelis from a mumche, like we said. Mar mincha asi tchelte b'shani ravachoy. Mar bat tcheles from Rav Achoy's region. Bad Ked Rav Yitzchak Bred Rav Yehuda. They tested it with the approach of Rav Yitzchak, which was to soak it, and it got worse. V'ifri chazusei, it got worse. Then they did the second test where they baked it. But Ravada v'ishtay lamel yusuf, then it got better. Well, Savar lemifsali, they still wanted to think, well, if it was true tcheles, it shouldn't have faded with the first test. Amalu Ravachoy, no. El haloy tcheltehi v'lo kalilani. So, but what you've shown, it's neither. El shmami na shmua sa'adari itma. You have to do both tests. When you test it, you have to do the first test, which is soaking it. And then, lo ifrit chazusik shewa. Then if it, as we said, if it didn't fade, it's kosher. However, this is a two-step test. Ifrid chazusik, if it got faded, so now you do the second test. You baked it in this yeast, and then then if it gets better, it's tchelis, and and otherwise it's counterfeit. Shalchu misam, shmo sadori yitma, that both are correct, and you're supposed to do the test the way it was described above. Rabmani daik v'zavin kechumri masnisa. He would only buy tzitzis where you couldn't use thread that had been tested, and therefore you have to buy from a mumche. This is what your ancestor did, and they were successful in business because they were medaik. They were careful with this mitzvah. Ton Rabbanan. If you buy a garment that has tzitzis on it in the market, so if you buy it from Israel, harehi bechazkasa. A Jew is a chazaka that he is selling authentic tchelis. Min ovid kechavim, if it's a goy, min atager ksheva. If he's a merchant, not a balabayas, then it's kosher, because again, if he's found to have sold counterfeit, he's going to lose his reputation. He's not willing to do that. Now, if you buy it from a neighbor, min ahed yet psula. The rule is, you may not sell a garment with tzitzis on it to a non-Jew unless you undo the tzitzis. My time out. We don't want a non-Jew to have tzitzis. One approach is because of a prostitute, that A Jewish prostitute will think he's Jewish and have relations with him, and she's not supposed to have relations with a non-Jew. Or that he would use the tzitzis in payment to a zona, and who would claim that she got it from another Jew. Rav Yehuda Omer Shami Yislava imo b'derech v'yargenu. A Jew sees this non-Jew wearing tzitzis, thinks he's a fellow Jew, and will walk with him on the road, and the Orvi Kachavim will kill him. So there's a danger. Rav Yehuda Rami Tchelte leParzuma de Inchi Beisi. Rav Yehuda would make tzitzis for everybody in his household, which really means his wife, Ishu Beso. That means he would put tzitzis on the four-cornered garments of his wife. Another halacha, umevarch kol tzafra lisatev b'tzitzis. Every morning. Now, here's what the Gemara is getting at. Women are mechayev in mitzvahs she'ein azman grama. Any mitzvahs that tied to time. Now, if you hold that Laila is not the zman of tzitzis, so tzitzis then is only done in the daytime, then it becomes a mitzvah asay zman grama, and women would be potter. But if you hold Laila is zman tzitzis, so day and night you have a chiyuv tzitzis, it's not a mitzvah asay zman grama, women would be chayiv. So that's why he put tzitzis on garments of his wife. Then it says that he made a bracha every morning lisatev b'tzitzis. Now the Gemara analyzes me. Rami k'saver mitzvah asay shelo zman gramahu. He obviously holds that it's not a mitzvah tied to time. Now, if it's not a mitzvah tied to time, you would think maybe you only have to put, the first time you put the garment on, you make the bracha, and then you don't have to do it again, because it's a continuous chiyuv, right? Amayim avar kol tzafra v'tzafra. So, Kerebi, the Tanya tefillin kol zman shemenichan mevarach aleihem, divrei Rebbe. Rebbe held you also have to wear tefillin the whole day. Now, it wasn't enough to just make the bracha on tefillin in the morning. Let's say you took it off, you went to the bathroom. If you put it on again, you'd have to make the bracha again. So the Gemara, and that's why every morning he has to make the bracha again. Yachi kol shaitanami. What do you mean? Maybe he would have to make, every time he takes the tzitzis off, puts it on again, he'd have to make it. Why just once a day? Gemara answers, Rabbi Yehuda Inish Tzniyav. He was modest. He would keep it on the whole day. So every time he put it on, in the next morning, he would make the bracha. Ma'ishna mitzafra. He awoke a lot earlier than Neitzach Chama to study Torah. Why didn't he make the bracha then? When he woke up, he would wear a ksus laila, and then when he would switch to ksus yom, he would wear it after alois hashachar mishiyakir. Torah Rabbana. Hakol chayovim b'tzitzis. Kohanim Levim Yisraelim, Gerim Noshim Vavodim. Rabbi Shimon pointed to Noshim. Rabbi Shimon says Noshim are not chayv in tzitzis. He holds that Laila is not zman tzitzis. The Gemara says Pshita. Why would they be potter from tzitzis? Who would be left to be machayev tzitzis? Mad l'chayev. So the Gemara says the chiddush is kohanim. Kohanim mitzrichalei. Only somebody who has a love of wearing shatnez. Gedilim taselach. But man de lo yishtori kloim lagabei. But so I would think man de lo yishtori kloim lagabei bilvishu l'machayev tzitzis. Only someone who is not allowed to wear kloim has a chiv tzitzis. Hani kohanim hol v'yishtori kloim lagabei lo l'chavi. There were many big day kahuna that had shatnez in it. So since they're allowed to wear shatnez, I would have had a havamina that they didn't have a chiyuv tzitzis. Kamash Malon, because Nehi destroyed Be'idin Avoida. Yeah, the Kohanim could wear shadas when they were doing the Avoida, but the Lord and Avodah lo destroy. When they change their garments and they go home and they wear their regular clothes, they're not allowed to wear shatnez. So then clearly they have the chiyuv of tzitzis. Reb Shimon poiter b'noshim. Reb Shimon said noshim are potter. My time at Reb Shimon. The Tanya. Uriisem oso prat l'ksus laila. That what you wear at night does not require tzitzis. It's only when you can see the tzitzis. They can't be seen at night, so it's potter. Maybe a blind person is potter from tzitzis because he can't see it. So it says you have to put tzitzis on any garment that you cover yourself with. I mean, even a summa wears a garment. So it excludes night. But the Gemara doesn't understand the logic. What's the logic? Why did you include a blind person's garment in the chiyuv of tzitzis? And for the Gemara, other people can see the garment of a summa. Nobody can see ksus laila. It's night. So it's more logical to exempt ksus laila. Now, the Rabbanon who hold that noshim are obligated in tzitzis, and therefore they hold that there's tzitzis at night. What do they do with these psukim? Hayasher techasa b'mayabdilei miboilahu al arba kanfos ksuscha. The Torah says you have to put tzitzis on the four-corner garment. Arba v'lo shalosh. Only a four-cornered, not a three-cornered. Ata aimer arba v'lo shalosh, oena ela arba v'lo chamesh. Maybe it excludes a five-cornered garment that doesn't need tzitzis. So kishoyim asher techasa ba, that includes a ribalas chamesh omer. That's a five-cornered garment. Umani makayim al arba kanfas ksuscha. Arba v'lo shalosh. Again, logically, you could have gone both ways. Umara isel rabus balas chamesh lotzi balas shalosh. So there's a svara. Marbani balas chamesh, sheyesh b'chlal chamesh arba. Within the number five is four. So you always have four corners. So you're chayav to put tzitzis on four corners. And I exclude motzini balas shalosh shein b'chlal shalosh arba. You can't have four and three. Three doesn't have four. Rab Shimon, how does he learn this? Because he uses Asher Techasabov to say that a blind person's beged needs tzitzis. So this din of arba, not shalosh, chamesh v'lasholim, me'asher nafka. It says Asher Techasabov. That comes to include the ribui. V'rabon and Asher l'mashmal, they don't darshan the Asher. However, V'rabon and Hayu Risam also Mayabdilei. Reb Shimon uses the pasuk re'isamo so that you have to see the tzitzis to exclude tzitzis at night. So what do the chachamim do? The boy look at the Tanya. It's re'isamo so uzachartem. You have to see the tzitzis and you will remember. Re'ei mitzvah zu zachor mitzvah cheres atluyabo. See the tzitzis, you'll remember another mitzvah. Ve'ezu zu kriyas shema. You have to remember to do Kriya Shema. It's not. The time when it's permitted to begin saying Kriya Shema is when you can distinguish between the white and blue of Tchelis. So that's how people will remember Kriya Shema. There's an other approach. V'tani idlich. Uri'isa moso zachartem. Rei mitzvah zu zachor mitzvah acheres hasmuchala. When you see this mitzvah, you'll remember another mitzvah that's next to it. Ezo, so mitzvah's climb. T'chsiv lo silbash shatnez, semru pishtim yachtav, gdilim taselach. So it will remind you of the love of shatnez. Tanya Idich Risam Osos Chartem is called mitzvos Hashem. Kivish Neschai Vada b'mitzvah Neschai b'chol mitzvahs kula. Daytime, which is when you first have a chiyuv tzitzis, it reminds you that you're chayiv in many mitzvahs that you're chayiv in the daytime. Rab Shimon, he the Amar mitzvahs grandma he. Rab Shimon, who held that women were potter, that there's only chiyuv tzitzis during the day, and all the other most mitzvahs are chayiv only in the day. Lulav, milah, tefillah, these are all mitzvahs. Most mitzvahs are chayiv only in the day. Tanidach, Risa Mosos Chartem is called mitzvahs Hashem. Shkula mitzvahs zu keneged kol mitzvahs kula. Wearing tzitzis is like you've fulfilled all of the commandments. The gematria of tzitzis is 600. You have 8 strings and 5 knots. 8 plus 5 is 13. You should have taryag. B'tani idich. Riso mosos chartem basisem. Re'iyah meviyah l'dei zchira. Seeing leads to remembering. Zechira meviyah l'dei asira. Remembering the taryag mitzvahs comes to make you think that you have to do the mitzvahs. Rav Shimon ben Yochai Omer, kol azoris b'mitzvah zu, whoever is careful about this mitzvah, zoichu makabel pnei shchina, will merit seeing HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ksiv ha'chol risam oso. Uksiv osam es Hashem elokecha tira va'oso tavo. So you will see HaKadosh Baruch Hu if you're fulfilling the mitzvah of tzitzis. Torah Rabbanan. Chavivin Yisrael shesivan HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'mitzvahs. HaKadosh Baruch Hu surrounded us with mitzvahs. Tefillin b'rosheim u'tefillin b'zroiseim. Tefillin on our heads, tefillin on our arms. Tzitzis b'vigdeim. The tzitzis are on our garments. U'mezuzah l'pischeim. The mezuzahs on our doors. V'aleim amar David, sheva b'yom ilalticha al mishpatei tzidkecha. I praise you 7 times a day. That's these seven mitzvahs that a Jew surrounds himself with. You have 2 tefillin, head and arm, 4 tzitzis, and the mezuzah, that's 7. When David HaMelech went into the bathhouse, V'ra otzma omid arum, he wasn't wearing any clothes. Amar oili she'emod arum below mitzvah. How could I stand naked without any mitzvah? He remembered, oh yeah, I have the circumcision that never leaves me. So he felt good. The shminis, the 8th day, because that's when we're gemalt. Al mila shenitna b'shmini. Rav Eliezer ben Yaakov Oimer, kol sheyesh lo tefillin b'rosho, tefillin b'zro, v'tzitzis b'vigdo, mezuzah b'pischo, hakol b'chizik shelo yechta. There's a chazaka that he's not a sinner. Ve'achuta mishulash lo b'meiri natek. This combination of tefillin, tzitzis, and mezuzah is the chuta mishulash. V'oimer, the Malach Hashem that protects us surrounds us, and it's symbolized by these mitzvahs that surround us. Tanya Rab Meir Omer, famous Chazal. Why was the tcheles to be blue? It's the color of the ocean. The color of the yam is the color of the sky. The color of the sky is like the kisei of Hashem. Shenemar v'tachas raglav v'maseh livnasa sapir u'chetzem hashamayim latohar. Uksiv k'mareh even sapir dmus kisei. So sapphire, I guess sapphire is blue, right? So when you see your tzitzis, you go from the ocean to the rakia to Hashem, and that keeps us going. Tanya, Hayr Meir Omer, Gadol onsha shalav and yoser onsha shal tchelis. Not wearing tzitzis and not wearing the white threads is worse than not wearing the tchelis. And because some people only wore 4 white ones because tchelis was expensive. Moshel ma'adavar doime. The melech bas v'adam she'amar l'shnei avadav. The human king had 2 servants. Lechad amar havei li choisam shel tit. He said, bring me a signet, right? When you put a brand on an animal or a slave, you use a seal. So he told one, bring me of clay. That's easy to find. Ula. Lechad amar havei li choisam shel zav, bring me gold. Upashu shnei v'lo hiviu. Neither brought it. Ezem and Ansham Ruba. Who's worse? It's the guy who's supposed to bring the clay. That's much easier found. Same thing with the lavan is much easier to get than the tchelis. So by not putting on the lavan is a bigger punishment. Tanya Reb Meir Omer. You have to recite 100 brachos. What does Hashem ask? The ma is sort of translated to mea. It's like a play on words, 100. Now, Rav Chia Breder Avavia b'Shabtov Yomi Tovi Torach Umamalalu b'Ispar Mekei Umagdi. Every day we have Shmona Esrei. So we have 19 brachos times 3. So right away you got 57. So it's easy with the Birchas Hamazon, 2 times or 3 times, and then you have the Birchas HaShachar. So most people will make 100 brachos, but Shabbos and Yontif, we don't have Shmona Esrei. Our Amidah is only 7 brachos, so it's only 21. So what would they do? They would make brachos over spices and over like fruits. Because every time they brought a new fruit, they would make another bracha. So it's more complicated to say 100 brachos on Shabbos and Yom Tov. Tanya, you have a minimum of saying 3. Elohim, She'asani Yisrael. Thank you, Hashem, that you made me a Jew. Shelo asani isha, and shelo asani bur, like an amaretz. Ravacha bar Yaakov Shmaya lebreda avikom avarch shelo asani bur. Arma like kula hai nami. I mean, a bur is still mechayv mitzvahs. Arma like ve'elamai mavarich. What should we say? So Rav Yaakov said shelo asani aved. Because an Eved doesn't have the same mitzvahs as a regular Jew.
By the way, this other guess is that Shelo Asani Goy, not Shelo Asani Yehudi. They saw in the different Gemara, the 3 brachas.
Well, nowadays we say Shelo Asani Goy. We don't say Shelo Asani Yehudi.
Yeah.
We say Shelo Asani Goy.
Yes, I don't know where the Gemara, I don't know, because the guess that I have in the Gemara says that Shelo Asani Goy.
No, the Vilna Shas says Shelo Asani Yisrael, Shasani Yisrael. And
in Svaria, they said Shelo Asani Goy.
So anyways, Shelo Asani Isha, I knew Isha, but that's the same thing as saying Shelo Asani Isha because they have less mitzvahs. Yeah, but Evel Zidfei, an Eved is more degraded than an Isha. So they went down in levels. I'll look around a little bit regarding this, the change in here. The Vilna Shas definitely says bor.
Okay.
I don't see anywhere that brings a different girsa in the. I have to do I'll do some research.
Okay.
We're gonna
See
learn
you at 8
tonight,
o'clock.
8 o'clock, and then tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Shkoyach.
Whatever.